And we're joined now by SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. A very good evening to you. We know, as you interacted with the presidency, that these allegations are allegations that the presidency will not take lying down. Let's talk more about what the presidency's had to say.
Well, this morning I was able to speak to officials in the presidency. I was told that the president will attend to this matter. It was in the morning, just before he left, to attend the official opening of the BRICS summit. But he quickly came back just before lunch and to get a proper briefing from the officials. And I think also from Minister Nhlanhla, who's here. And they then prepared that statement that has been released, where the president is emphasizing the fact that those allegations may have impact to the security of the country, and therefore he will attend to these reports as soon as he's back home. But him coming back at the hotel much earlier, he didn't even go to lunch with other heads of state and government, but he came to the hotel to get a briefing. And I guess there were lots of telephone calls that he made, perhaps with the relevant people back home, but also interacting with his team here in Rio de Janeiro, the delegation, and also perhaps speaking to his security advisors on this matter, and therefore releasing that statement. And of course, the president saying that he will attend to this matter as soon as he's back home, and indicating that all stakeholders must try and avoid a situation where they are escalating the allegations and the counter allegations, and also to respect the laws of the country, but also to ensure that the security of the country is intact. And I think observing from around 1300 to now, local time, it is now around 4. It took him almost 3 hours looking at this issue back here at the hotel. He has just left. He's gone back to the summit, because this afternoon you have the UN, the World Trade Organization, the World Health Organization, all presenting to the heads of state and government of BRICS. But I can indicate that he came back just before lunch, and he spent a lot of time here, quite a number of hours, working on this issue and consulting relevant stakeholders.
Yeah, with that word of caution being issued, I suppose many are now raising concerns on the implications of the allegations leveled at the minister and the police management.
Yes, I have a challenge there in terms of connection, but as I pointed out, I think what is important will be the president to engage the stakeholders. And also, I was told that he will be able to speak to us tomorrow before he leaves for South Africa, and therefore during that interaction we'll be able to ask the president some questions around this issue. And I think much as he might not divulge all the information, he will be able to respond as a head of state in terms of what's happening back home. And I can indicate that he will leave much earlier, I'm told, going back home. And remember, he has been traveling commercial, and therefore he couldn't even come back or go back to South Africa today, because, you know, when you are traveling commercial, then you have to follow the bookings in terms of your flights. But he will leave much earlier tomorrow so that he can be in South Africa on time and attend to this matter, but also other matters. For example, the preparations for the send-off of the former deputy president of the country, Mr. David Mabuza, and therefore he's got lots of issues to attend back home, and therefore he will be leaving much earlier.
the president wrapping up very quickly to ensure that he attends to the matters of urgency here at home, I know that geopolitical aspects took center stage in some of the discussions at the summit. Have any agreements been made? And perhaps let's talk a little bit about the statement of some of the leaders.
Well, I think the leaders were united in terms of the position on geopolitics. One, talking about the need for peace and security in all the areas where you have challenges. You have a challenge in Ukraine, challenge in the Middle East, Sudan, and other parts of the world, and therefore calling for peace and stability and resolution of conflicts through dialogue, but also indicating that the issues of violation of international law must never be allowed, raising concern about restructuring of the multilateral institutions such as the IMF, the World Bank, particularly the Security Council that is currently very, very paralyzed. And I think the UN chief, when he's speaking this afternoon, has pointed out that now you have a session where the leaders of BRICS are going to interact with heads of different agencies and organizations. I think Antonio Guterres will touch on that. But also on the issues of the current attacks we saw in the Middle East and in Asia, condemning such acts, and of course raising concern around President Trump's tariffs or the trade approach that he has taken. Yesterday I spoke to the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, indicating to me that South Africa is engaging the Americans in terms of discussing how they can handle this, after the Americans indicated that they are working on a template or a formula to engage the sub-Sahara countries, and that's what South Africa would want. South Africa saying that they've requested America to put on hold implementation of the tariffs on the 9th of July. And we seeing reports now that it looks like that will happen, and Secretary at the Treasury in the United States of America making an announcement that they will engage with countries that will present their plans or their engagement documents. But if they don't, on the 1st of August, those tariffs will be in place. And therefore, the leaders here raising concern that America is kind of bullying everybody and violating the trade rules. As you know that when you have issues around trade and the trade imbalance, you have to consult or negotiate or engage the World Trade Organization, and the DG of the World Trade Organization is here. I saw her earlier on with the DG of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, and the UN chief. So you can see that this meeting is quite important, and those issues raised by the BRICS leaders will receive attention with all these agencies and organizations here with interest.
Very well. Thank you so much for that update, of course, on the big story of the day. Speaking there to SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena.